Hello students and welcome to this new video where we are continuing the chapter economic development. In the last lecture or in the last video we have seen the market mechanism system, and now we are going to see the socialist system. Okay, socialist system originated because of limitations and failures of market system, because the market system was not optimum and was not perfect, so there were limitations and various failures, and then socialist system was originated meant it came into existence, it came into place. Countries like Russia and China have achieved fast economic progress by adopting this system. Russia and China have adopted this system of socialist system, and they have also gained fast economic progress. Socialist system is quite opposite to the market system. Now, earlier when we had seen the market system, we know that the market system is a free economy, a free system where individuals and private companies have all the power on the resources of production. Okay, in the socialist system, all economic decisions are taken by the state machinery. State machinery means all the decisions are taken by the government. State and government both are used as synonyms here. State owns all the resources of production. The resources of production which are there in the country are owned by the country, the government itself, and not the individual and private companies. In this system, whole economy is managed by the state. The whole economy is managed by the state. The whole economic activity and all those things are managed by the state itself, country itself. All the decisions are taken by the government pertaining means of production, all the decisions of production, investment, resource distribution, how to distribute the resources, production distribution, how to produce the goods or how much to produce the goods, etc. are taken after keeping the requirement of the society in mind. So the main point here is society. They all the decisions are taken by just gaining the importance of society, and we will only see the society while taking all the decisions here. In the socialist system, rather than profit, social welfare is at the center. So while we have learned in the market mechanism system that profit was at the center, here what is at the center? Social welfare. The people, the citizens of the state. All of the production of the resources and their prices are decided by the state. So all the decisions are taken by the government. Prices are also decided by the state, and how much to produce is also decided by the state. The responsibility to achieve the target of production decided by the state governed factories. How much to produce is the decision which is taken by the state governed factories. So the factories are also under the state, and the state is running the factories, and the production is also done by the factories which are governed or which are under the state. Farming is also owned by the state. So here government owns the farming also. Laborers are paid according to their ability and according to work, and accordingly work is taken from them. So laborers are paid according to their ability. How much they are working, they are paid accordingly, and work is also given to them. Features of socialist system: resources are owned by the state. Now how does socialist system look? All the resources in the country are owned by the state. All the economic decisions are taken by the state. All the decisions pertaining to each and every single currency is taken by the state. All the economic decisions. Profit is not at the center, and social welfare, to do good to our citizens, to better our citizens. So social welfare is at the center of the economic activities. Laborers are paid wages in return of work. They are working and they are paid wages. Okay, what are the benefits? Let us see. Because of the production according to the requirement of the society, unimportant and luxurious items are not produced. See, what does society require? Government identifies that thing and then does the production. So the needs of the society are fulfilled, and unimportant and luxurious items are not produced. They are not produced. So this is a good point. It is a benefit of the socialist system. As the decisions related to production are taken by the state, wastage of resources is not there. So all the decisions are taken by the country here. So whatever decisions are taken for the production are taken by the government. So there is no wastage of resources, there is optimum use of resources. Disparity of income and property is removed. When an individual and a private firm do not have the control over the income as well as property, it is known as, see, where they are having control on income and property, it is a centralized, but this is socialist system. Here government is in the control, so no income, no property is with the with any of the individual as well as private firm. Consumers are not exploited. Here consumers are not exploited. When all the things are done for the social welfare of the people, consumers are not exploited. But there are limitations of the socialist system also. Socialist system, which has come into existence with the noble intention of equal distribution and social welfare, too has certain limitations. There are many negative points in the socialist system. Socialist system was built to cover the negative points of the market mechanism system, but there are also various negative points of the socialist system also. As the resources of production are owned by the state, people do not get encouragement. They don't have encouragement. All the things are done by the state. So you do, we will not do anything. So they do not have any encouragement and motivation to increase production. The factories have to produce whatever government says. If the government say that you have to produce 100 units, they have to produce 100 units. They cannot produce 200, nor they can produce 50 units. They have to produce 100 units only. So there is no motivation, no encouragement to increase the production. They cannot increase the production. Due to lack of competition, contest and research do not get momentum. Momentum is speed. There is no competition. All the production is done for the welfare of the society, welfare of the people. So there is no contest, there is no competition, there is no research, and in the economy there is no momentum in the research and contest. There is lack of individual freedom. Yes, obviously, no resources and nothing is given, no power is given to the people, all the power is with the state. So there is no individual freedom. Because of complete interference of state, there is fear of bureaucracy. Bureaucracy means the power which the ministers use to change and influence the decisions. This is known as bureaucracy. A minister telling to reduce the production of wheat, so it is bureaucracy for his own benefit. It is known as bureaucracy. Okay, now let's say mixed economy. Mixed economic system attempts at removing the limitations of market system and socialist system. Mixed economic system is produced to remove the negative points, the minus points of the market system and the socialist system, and tries to assimilate in it good elements of both the systems. And tries to assimilate means assemble all the good elements of the system. Mixed economy is such a type of economic system in which public and private sector coexist. Coexist means there is public sector also and there is private sector also. There are private companies also and there are public companies also. Public companies means those companies which are run by the government, and private companies are those companies which are run by individuals. Okay, this sector, both the sectors do not work as a competitor, but they are complementary to each other. They do not compete, but they are complementary. One is required for the other and the other is required for another. There is individual or private ownership in agriculture, trade, small consumers, good industry, etc. Individual or private ownership means a person can be owner in agriculture, trade, small consumer goods means shampoos and all that consumer goods which you use daily. These are small consumer goods industry. So there is private ownership, while basic key areas like heavy industries, factories producing defense material, railway, electricity, roads, irrigation are owned by the state. So these all the things are owned. Who is the owner? The state, the country, the government. Heavy industries, major industries like iron industry, steel industry, all these industries are under the government. Factories producing defense material, whatever guns and armor and all that, whatever they are producing, bombs and tanks and whatever it is, defense material, all are included under the state. Railway is also of the state. Electricity is also of the state. Roads, are made by the state, and irrigation facilities are provided by the state, the country, the economy. See, in this system, market is not completely free. Government lays control, but in different ways. How? For example, state lays heavy tax on production of unwanted things. Or whatever things are not wanted or whatever things are unimportant, they have heavy tax on it. Let me give you an example. When you are trying to purchase a BMW car, it is a luxury item, right? So there is more tax on it, so the price is high. Another thing is, when you import some things which are not necessary for you, but it is a luxury item, like like gold, like a car. You can import a car also. All those things. So they are unwanted things. They are not important. They are just fulfilling your wishes. So government lays heavy tax, 80%, 70%, 60%, 100% tax. They have to pay. In the same way, industries in the backward areas. Backward areas means those areas where there is no, there is no development. Or the area which is backward means there is no development. The people are still living in the orthodox way. So in those areas, the industries are put to gain employment. To generate employment. Those people who are living nearby in the nearby villages, in the backward areas, they can come and they can work. They can work as a job, and whatever it is. So in the backward areas, industries are put to encourage by giving, and government is encouraging them. It is very good thing, right? To bring forward the backward areas of the country is a good thing. So government is giving subsidy. Subsidy means when you have to pay 1,000 rupees, government is telling you pay only 300. Will pay 700 for you, because you are doing a very good thing. You are producing employment, you are reducing poverty, and thus we will give you subsidy. Relaxation in tax. Also, tax relaxation is also there. So you don't have to pay tax for 1 or 2 or 5 years when you open the industry in the backward areas. So this is a system. Mixed economy is such an economic system in which important place is given to economic planning in taking economic decisions. This is a system where economic planning is on the main part. Planning is to be done. Coexistence of private and public sector is accepted in this system. There exists private as well as public sector, which I told you earlier. Coexistence means they are existing simultaneously, they are existing parallel. This system is also known as controlled economic system. Because of the restrictions and control, it is also known as controlled economic system. Countries like India, France and England follow mixed economy. See, we have studied market system, socialist system and mixed economy, and as these systems decide factors for economic decisions and distribution of resources, how to take the economic decisions, so it is dependent on the system, and how we have to distribute the resources, it is dependent on the system. But there is no country here in the world today where there is absolute market system or socialist system. Both the system have lost their individual features and have assimilated into the mixed economy, because both the system, when they are on the extremities, they are not successful. There is always a negative point when they go on the extremity. Let me give an example. If the market system is only followed in the country, there will be limitations, where we have earlier seen the limitations in the market system, where there will be wastage of resources when the government does not have control, and all that points of limitation. So you cannot have an extreme level of any system. No market system, no socialist system. There will always be a mixture of both the systems. Market system sees the planning elements and state interference, while socialist system sees economic relaxation and economic liberalization. It means that socialist system gives economic relaxation and economic liberalization. Where we are seeing socialist system, there also we can see economic relaxation now, because they are not following the extreme level of socialist system. They are coming into some part of the mixed economy. So there is economic relaxation as well as economic liberalization. But in the mixed economy, there are minus points also. Economic instability. What happens if the government fails to take the economic planning? That that it does not do proper economic planning. Lack of coordination. If there is no coordination between the private and public sector, and if they become the competitor, then what they will do? Inconsistent economic policy. Whatever policies the government makes, if it is inconsistent, means it is not proper. What happens? Low rate of growth of economic development. When the economic development rate is low, what happens then? There are also limitations in mixed economy. Okay, students, let us see the MCQs. Economically, India is which type of country? Developed, backward, developing, or poor? Find your answer. According to the World Bank report 2004, minimum per capita income कितना है डेवलपिंग कंट्री कहलाने के लिए? आप बताइए. Okay, which system is called a free economy? Socialist, mixed, market system? None. Cattle rearing is included in which sector of economy? Secondary, primary, service, or three of them? Okay, find out the answers. The first answer is India is developing economy. According to the World Bank report, what is the per capita income? 735. Yes. Let us see. Let me show you the point where we have discussed the per capita income in the first page. Okay, I have brought you to the first page. It would be in the developing economy sector. It is here. Yes, you can see that countries having less than 735 per capita income are categorized as developing economy. Okay, chalo, done students. We'll meet you in the next part with a new chapter, and we'll talk about the new chapter. Okay, number 3 is free economy. So which economy? Market system, free economy. Cattle rearing, primary sector. Okay, chalo, we'll meet you in the next lecture with a new chapter of social sciences. Goodbye till now, and stay safe and happy.